Okay, so I brought back a previous save from cloud storage. Thank you, cloud storage, by the way, for being so convenient. Today I'm going to do something different. I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to talk about NieR Automata now that I have free time and I've beaten Persona 5 and Platinum Persona 5, in fact. I'm just gonna do a video that I wanted to do and that I worked on a script on, and then I disliked the script for it because it was too stiff and it wasn't fun. Because, as you can see, why I'm on the quest page is that I'm going to be discussing the side quests and how important they are in the story. In the factoring of theming into it, and all the significance, foreshadowing, etc., etc. You know, all the fun stuff that having a script for would be absolutely awful because there's so many side quests, so it's hard to constantly transition and talk about specific ones. Yes. So, I have a bit of, like a note list of rough notes to help me. So, please forgive this, awful, awful video. So, first off, we're gonna talk about, the important and consistent themes in regards to NieR Automata and its quests, specifically the side quests. So a lot of it is similar to the original NieR. One of them is communication or lack thereof. Another theme is family. Again, similar to the original NieR. Two of the most important things, actually. Another theme is a sense of purpose / worthlessness / worth / whatnot, because there's a lot of things in this universe, a lot of NieR Automata people, NPCs, that don't have a sense of purpose or are trying to search for a sense of purpose in the world, whether it's through their actions, their thoughts, their philosophies, etc. Another theme is, well, it's kind of like more of like a foreshadow / theme, is the complexity of androids and machines, their emotions and their actions. So that's a very important one, because throughout this story, it becomes extremely blurred what makes a human. That's another theme of what makes a human, because over time the machines act more human and the androids act more emotionally human. Both of them kind of go hand in hand, but of course, with the theme of communication, there's still that barrier between the two factions. Philosophy, existential questions that don't have answers. I wrote the questions that don't have answers kind of as one of the quotes for ending E. That's what Pod 042 says to Pod 153 during the ending E part. And yeah, another theme is foreshadowing to later events. So we're going to be doing that. Let's actually get in here. Let's get in here. So first, we have Jean-Paul's Melancholy. If you don't know who this character is referencing, it's Jean-Paul Sartre, I believe his name is. That's probably a butchering. He is a philosopher. A French philosopher, in fact. I believe he is the creator of, I think, modern day existentialism or modern day communism. which kind of goes hand in hand with some of the other characters. The two bosses, Marx and Angelus, or Angels, are both philosophers, and they're both together in terms of modern day communism. I believe Jean-Paul Sartre is more on the existentialism, which goes in hand with his character, who specifically questions everything, and kind of goes into the fact that robots are learning philosophy or understand philosophy or are trying to grasp it, which foreshadows, I'm going to be using that word a lot, to root C with A2, where Pascal, another philosopher, is reading philosophical passages by Nietzsche, which I believe is also existentialism. So it all kind of, goes full circle. In philosophy, it's a lot of it revolves around existentialism, and it is kind of like a never-ending journey through this philosophy that John Paul is trying to grasp, because he leaves on a village to go on a journey, and he just never returns at all. So yeah, and then for the description here, yeah, Byzantine philosophical passages, and to the androids, they just do not understand him at all, and somehow the fans, his machine fangirls, do understand him, at least to an extent. They don't truly understand him. So yeah, he devoted himself to philosophy to the very end, never once taking notice of those who had affection for him. So yeah, he just leaves. So we have machine examination. This is for Angelus, one of the Angelus units, in fact. It kind of goes hand in hand with machine complexity and emotion. One of the words that comes around is the concept of sin, and how he does not understand what sin is, but over time he does understand it, and he wants to learn of the world and all of how it used to be, which is again more like complexity for machines, and like understanding, which confuses both A2 and 2B, because they like that barrier between androids and machines is just so large and vast that they don't understand why Angelus would want to know that, and even to the point where Angelus chose death to help the androids after he understands the concept of sin. Yeah, the severity of his sins, and he chooses death in order to help them because he gives them items. Again, I have a note saying Angelus and Marx being philosophers to communism. Whatnot. Family squabble. This is kind of a short one. It's just constant theme of family. Another thing is machine communication. Since the machines used to have a network of communicating with each other, the pacifists, part of the Pascal's village, don't have that sort of network to them anymore. So there's kind of a barrier in communication between them, all on their own, along with machines and androids. Another thing is the joy of learning to understand each other makes it more fulfilling. How do machines have family? Who knows? Actually, we do know. It's in one of the notes. So we have animal care. which is the animal-loving machine. So, something that very few machines have, and it's kind of like a minor thing, another machine that has this sort of sense is the game dev machine, is this sympathy and caring for something other than their own kin. For this person, the animal-loving machine, it's animals. He says how, I think the quote is, here we go, animals possessing warmth that machines do not. It's like he's a true animal lover, but he has literally no sympathy or empathy for killing of his kin in turf war. So, right here, when you inform him that you destroyed one of his kind, he seems unfazed. He does not care for machines at all. All he cares about is the animals that he keeps with him and nurturing them back to health. So again, machine complexity, they're not, simple killing machines. They actually have, thoughts. Another thing could be compared to hold on, animal care. So yeah, also they possess warmth that machines' life forms lack. This is something that can be compared to 9S as well. 9S cares about humans. He wants to, be longed by them. He needs human touch and human warmth, which is said by him in the final fight in the route D, or C/D route, while picking 9S when he's fighting A2. So we have the Robo Dojo, one of my favorite ones. So the Robo Dojo, the god himself, constantly, upgrading himself all the way from white belt to red belt. Kind of weird, but red belt is red can be shown as violence or passion or love even. Actually, that is kind of interesting, because if you love in combat, which is something that androids have, they have built into them. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Oh my god, I'm bullshitting my way through. So yeah, he's constantly upgrading himself to get stronger until he eventually, at the red belt, fights you to the death. And then when he dies, he's at peace knowing he died fighting someone as strong as himself. Which you can kind of compare to androids fighting for a purpose and, being at peace knowing they fought for something. Even though, that something is for the extinct humans that no longer exist. It could also be androids fighting to find a purpose. Because in Route C/D, that is purely what A2 and 9S want. They have nothing, and they need to find a purpose of some kind, and they have to fight for that. So we have the Lost Girl. Once again, family. There's not really much to it. Another thing that kind of questions, or puts into question, intelligence for both parties is... Oh, excuse me. Is the Lost Girl asking 9S, who's supposed to be like a brand new state-of-the-art intelligent scanner type model, and he can't even answer questions like what is wind and how children are made. Granted, this is a quest that's mainly for Route A, so those questions you kind of ask yourself for that route specifically, rather than think about it now now that we're at, the end of the story and the end of everything. So we have the supply trader's request. So, is this the one? Yes. This is a reference to Theseus's ship, in which I'm going to look this up because I have a poor grasp of it. It raises the question whether or not an object that has had all of its components replaced remains fundamentally the same object, which is also known as Theseus's paradox. So for the supply trader, his only thing he has left is his one leg, and he doesn't want to replace it no matter what, because he feels like he wouldn't be him anymore, which is... in terms of theming, it's more of existentialism. It's a very, deep question that he has to ask himself. We have the manager's request. So this one, I had to kind of think about. It's pretty simple, in which he seeks comfort through loss and treasuring the memories of her friend, and as the quote you can see is as all she can do is silently clutch it in her arms. So you can say that can be compared to 9S and 2B, in which 9S clings to the memories of 2B as his most treasured moments with her. And 2B does the same with 9S, because the one message in her ship, her memories with him are like light. So we have camp development. It's nothing. I cannot possibly find foreshadowing in this. So this is for Anemone's past. It's pretty simple. It's the foreshadowing to A2's past on Pearl Harbor, and the inner struggles with her, because her entire squad got wiped out except for her. And an enemy is shocked beyond words, so it says, because she is also one of the few survivors. So this is an important quest. Put a big fat star on this. Amnesia. This is probably the most important quest in the story, along with Jackass's research. So this is foreshadowing to the execution type units, the type E's, and it's the fact that it's extremely classified and unknown to 9S, the fact that 2B knows something about it and is very distant when asking that question. She doesn't say she doesn't know anything. She doesn't say nothing, which are her two big responses is silence and kind of, distance. But she clearly is hiding something, which, you see at the end of Route C and D. Another thing that's that I kind of had to think about is the fact that it says right here that, racked with guilt, the Type E erased her own memory. However, her memory comes back. The impossibility of it means it's not guaranteed, or the fact of this means it's not guaranteed, that you cannot do that. Apparently you cannot do a clean wipe, which can be said about Pascal, in which Pascal says how her own name, or his own name, sounds familiar. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen at all. You wiped Pascal's memories clean. All of it. You did a big reboot. And yet that still somehow sounds familiar. Another thing that happens is 9S. In the Soul Box and the Final Fight in Route C and D, his memories of who 2B is and his previous encounters with 2B are there in the Soul Box, which also should not happen. His memory was corrupted, his data was not sent to the bunker at the prologue. All of his memories up to like a certain point should be gone, but they're not. They're there. You can see them on one of the screens. So memory wipes aren't guaranteed at all. That's something to take into consideration. Is that nothing is guaranteed in that matter. So we have the resistance disappearance. So this one is the cycle of revenge, which could be similar said to NieR, the first NieR, with I believe Jacob is his name, wanting to get revenge on the machines for killing his brother, even though it was a tragic accident. But another thing is machines having the complex emotion and the concept of revenge, which is a very human trait. And later on, when you get to the special gold enemies, after you kill them all, 042 says how revenge and like vengeance and justice for killing all of his brothers and comrades and whatnot is completely justifiable. At least is what 042 says, and and 9S feels really bad about it. So yeah, the concept of revenge. It also is a kind of, I don't know if it is foreshadowing, but it's also goes along with Adam's depiction of human conflict to 9S in the first place. And yeah, okay. And just reading it more, yeah, the cycle of revenge. You tell her the truth, she leaves with a weapon in hand. She tries to get revenge on machines all her own. This is the next biggest important quest, Jackass's research. So, Jackass is doing research on androids, and she needs combat data. So all of this is like the most important thing ever. So apparently, I'm just reading this here, so you like we're on the same page. So apparently the feeling of excitement experienced during combat is close to what humans call love. Does that ring any bells between two people? So something that happens in the tower is that 9S fights a bunch of 2B clones, and he has a very mixed emotion at first. He's happy, he's sad, it's almost to the point of where he's crying. He's laughing, he feels excited about this, and he's also crazy at this point, to say the least, because he's killing all the 2B clones, which kind of goes in the way of love and hate. There's a very big concept of love and hate between 2B and 9S, which I have a video that I'm working on, and I just have the audio for right now. So I have to edit this right after. So another thing is how Jackass seemed very surprised that a Yorha type being specialized in combat was capable of regular thought. It's kind of more foreshadowing to 2B, because she specifically is a combat unit, quote unquote. She's really an execution unit, but you should know that if you're watching this fucking video. But yeah, it's like, according to her, normal thoughts only get in the way when you're trying to destroy things. Which is what happens a lot in NieR and NieR Automata and stuff like that. NieR, as soon as Papa NieR, or Brother NieR, learns of all this information of the story of NieR, at least to an extent, because he doesn't know everything, he hesitates on killing, the Shadow Lord, and there's a lot of hesitation for various deaths in here, such as 2B killing Eve. She's very hesitant at first, but she believes it is doing the right thing. So next up for this is androids actually generate a pleasure-granting chemical while in combat. Which kind of goes in the love-hate relationship between, again, 2B and 9S. You can also reference this to the Soul Box, where 9S is killing 2B, but that's also for various reasons, not just one. That's gonna be in the video, please. Please don't watch. It's gonna be awful. It's an awful video. I fucking hate it, but I have to work on it anyways. So yeah, it's a pleasure-granting chemical. Delicious. Let's see. And after this, yeah, they generate some kind of comforting element in their circuits during combat. So they basically get off on this. Androids get off on hurting and fighting and killing, which kind of goes against 2B's like morals by the end of it, because she hated killing 9S by the end, despite all her programming. It made her feel really sad because she loves him. So next one, improving communications. So we have this. Yes. So for this, I believe... Wait, no. This is improving communications. Here we go, investing communications. So investing communications is foreshadowing to, again, machine intelligence in strategy. So they lay a trap for the androids at this point. And they also have an EMP signal that jams one of the access points, which is a foreshadowing to the EMP trap that they use in the beginning of Route C, which allows, some of the androids to be infected, but it's also through a backdoor. So, and they also are able to jam signals, which hampered communications, again, in Route C with Command, but that wasn't the only thing that was hampering communications with Command. So... Oh, shit. Oh, God. Ruined. Again, terminal repairs is basically the same thing. There's malfunctioning access points. They have EMP traps and whatnot. Find a present. is basically just a death flag for 6-0. She doesn't deserve this. She doesn't deserve any of this. Again, with this finding a flower, the infected her says at the beginning of Route C when the command is falling. It's very sad. So, data analysis freak. Another death flag. There's gonna be a lot of death flags, let me tell you what. So, the first one is not too important in terms of theming. Part 2, on the other hand, is this one. After which 21O's analysis revealed they used to live in groups called families. And 21O is very interested in the concept of families because it later goes on to the God box, in which 21O wants to be in a family with 9S, which is why she's quite motherly to him, why she's very curt, and why she even goes down to Earth as a combat unit in order to protect him and have him stay out of the fight, because she doesn't want him harmed. And I didn't know about her talking about being in a family with 9S until like my 3rd playthrough, and I almost fucking cried because holy shit, it's so fucking dark. Why is it all fucked out? Oh, never mind. So, Lord of the Valley. So, something about the valley itself is the fact that machines are committing suicide by throwing themselves in the valley. Now, you see machine suicide in Route B when you hack into the Wise machines all in those high places, and they're searching for a meaning within themselves, you know, going back to the theme of meaning, and they can't find it, and that they'd rather die than be in a world of constant conflict and fighting, and one where they have no purpose in being. And another thing is, you know, the suicidal cult, also in Part A. But yeah, you can't kill this thing in Part A unless you somehow grind to level like 50. But even then, so you'll most likely kill this thing in Part B, which seeing it alongside the Wise Machines foreshadowing kind of helps in its own way. So another thing, the black text at the bottom, she has decided to remain behind and pray for the souls of her comrades. She talks about souls, she talks about heaven, and she wonders if there is, you know, a heaven for machines. And one of the lines for between 2B and 9S is how 2B says how they will eventually find out themselves. So that is foreshadowing to 2B's death, because she's the one who specifically says that. It also can be foreshadowing to the soul box, because she specifically says the word soul, and heaven, which can be referred to the God box. However, the meat box isn't quite referenced in here, although you could probably find some sort of meaning with it. So, so play with us and storage element. There's a bunch of Pascal quests. They're very small, very minor quests that don't really have any theming to them. It's more foreshadowing and kind of putting the nail in your heart of when Pascal's village gets destroyed, and it's fucking awful because you built a slide and that slide's useless now. So the half-wit inventor, not really much to it. I guess it would be more along the lines of machine intelligence again, but other than that, in terms of theming or anything, there's not really much to it. Although you can say that his invention to fire a payload, firing his payload to the moon, and it missing and hitting Mars, I guess could be something similar to the ending. I want to say it's more referencing Route D, in which the tower is actually firing an arc full of machines' memories. Which at first, in the beginning of Route C, 9S believes it's a platform in which they're going to destroy the human server, which I believe is its original intent, but they eventually change their minds after seeing 9S to be an Adam and Eve, I believe. But overall, this is just making me swallow my cynicism and opening my pocketbooks, you cheap bitch. Idiot Savant. It's a pretty simple one. It's the complexity of machines. Yeah, his circuitry was capable of extremely complex operations, and he actually managed to beat the system of basic machine thoughts with his own complex thoughts. And 9S, walks away questioning the true nature of a genius. So here we have the game dev machines. This is just meta. It's a meta joke. he creates 3 games and he just kind of gives up. and another thing is, like I said before, with the animal loving machine, he has no sympathy for his fellow kin when it comes to obtaining items from them. He just wants to make games. That's great. We have Speedstar. It's basically the same as Servo in a sense. So once you read the bottom half here, feeling content, the machine life form shuts down for good. So basically, once again, he finds peace and death within knowing he's bested by someone who is faster than him. So Emil, this is I said I was going to not mention anything about Emil's quests. I'm not going to cover them because they're more of a bridge between NieR 1 and NieR Automata, rather than foreshadowing or theming or anything. So this is mostly just for Emil, telling you his life, what happened, kind of to bring people up to par for people who don't understand or don't really know much about NieR 1, who, purely just played NieR Automata. So we have photographs. So, girl who loses her memories. can't remember events. Once again, memory loss isn't guaranteed. And then upon seeing all of them, she regains her memories. And it turns out it was the last data her lover sent to her before dying in battle. This can be a direct comparison to 9S's and 2B's relationship and conclusion at the beginning of Route C. This is their memories being treasured, and their memories of them together. It's a guy and a girl. They're lovers, and eventually, it's the guy, but if you flip it around, the guy dies, and the photographs are memories, essentially, of the memories of 2B and 9S together, which can go even further in referencing the soul box, which is one of the key points of 9S, in which memories to him are everything, and memories about 2B are everything to him. Everything. I'm losing my voice. I'm talking too much. Trying to explain everything. So 11B's memento. 11B being a cunt. But it's more along the lines of foreshadowing to the Yorha betrayers and to A2, who, is abandoning Yorha. It also is knowledge that androids aren't completely loyal. They do have the ability to book it out of there and just abandon everything. But at the same time, 11B... Oh wait, I said 11B was a cunt. Oh god. Oh my goodness. 11B was also infected. So if you didn't pick up on 9S's or the dialogue between 2B and 9S on how she asks for infection serum or something like that, this is kind of in the similar thing where she gets damaged in battle by machines and she slowly becomes infected. Ahem. So, treasure hunt at the castle. This is mostly just foreshadowing to the Forest Kingdom and the original Forest King, which the Forest King is the first machine to, I believe, be disconnected from the network. And he rallies his troops. He rallies all these machines together to have a family, or like a place to their own sort of castle kingdom. But I believe he specifically says family to them, and that's how they understand. And another thing is the villager. Is a bastard. He's filled with delight that the Graves Guardian had been destroyed, and he wished death upon the entire Forest Kingdom. Man, they didn't do anything wrong. You're a piece of shit. Again, lack of sympathy for their kin's death. They don't really care about them. So we have the wandering couple. Haha. This one's, this one is, foreshadowing, again, to 9S and 2B's relationship, with 2B constantly reforming 9S's memories through killing him. But in this case, the female android here is reformatting, or, erasing his man's memories. and how it's the 6th time she's reformatted him. And I don't want to say it's the same number as 2B and 9S because we're not actually sure, but the novella does indicate that it's been happening for a while now. I believe the novella is called the Cage, the something. Oh fuck! Oh god, research. I need to do research. Maybe, maybe another time. But yeah. But it kind of ends up the same either way. It's kind of like a cycle of fate where they always end up in the same scenario, and they always they never truly make their goal together. And another thing is how the male is always finds a way to love the female android in some way, but that also might be her ploy, which women are scary. Yeah, Pascal. So data on the old world. So this is an important one, which is the certain quote said by Pascal if you give the nuclear arms equipment to him. And the quote is, "If I refuse this and my village gets destroyed, will the machines resent me for this?" Now, you can take it as you will, but I say it's a direct foreshadowing to her village getting destroyed just through different means. Her own villagers getting infected and killing each other. Oh, whoopsie. So we have... Where is it? Culinary researcher. He can prepare a feast when humans return. I believe that could be a reference to the Last Supper. I'm not entirely sure on this one. In my notes, I just said nothing. So, moving on. Yorha Betrayers. This is a going from the request from 11B. A request from 16D. This is a foreshadowing to A2, because this is early enough in the game where you don't actually see A2 yet. So you have 8B, 22B, and 64B. And it's possible that they know about what command is doing, or they know the fact that humans are dead. It's not clear what happens if they know, like, A2, the Battle of Pearl Harbor in A2's past. They're not completely sure on this, or I'm not completely sure on this, but it's possible, which is probably why Command made them wanted targets for, in like framing them for things they didn't do, is they wanted them to like be dead as soon as possible before an uprising starts, a coup d'etat, as you may. So reconnaissance squad, my least favorite quest. So this is ending, or Route C with 9S. It's after the fall of the bunker. The beginning of the quest, there's not really much in terms of theming or information or anything. It's mostly near the end. So it's, 4S feeling a sense of guilt. And he's actually grateful that he's going to kind of go about his own way and possibly go to the Resistance and help out with the fight again. Once again, it's kind of like a cycle where I think there are 14 wars into the Machine War, and they're still not they're still not winning. It's still not over. So it kind of goes in a cycle again where more Yorha units get motivation from their previous losses and work harder towards their goal of trying to eradicate machines, and it just kind of keeps repeating on itself. Another thing that the text says there is 4S telling 9S not to succumb to the same sense of guilt. But he does. 9S does. he still feels guilty about all this. He still is wishing to, eventually be with 2B and die. I believe I don't actually have the quote of what he says after the quest, after he walks away. I wish I did, but there was no videos at the time that I could find the certain quote. And I don't want to do this quest again. So here we go. Devla's request and Pobla's request. It's more along the lines of realizing the Devla and Pobla's purpose, or at least those two. So I believe, yeah, why they go on difficult assignments is because they have that sense of guilt and atonement built into them, which is probably one of the most disgusting things a person could do to an android. Put a constant sense of fucking guilt. That's what caused them to die. Fucking goddamn it. Heritage of the Past. It's mostly just a link to Facade from NieR 1. The items you find is, desert country where they wear masks, and there's an impossible list of rules, etc., etc. And you hear statue of a young girl, which again reference to NieR 1. Retrieve the confidential data. Once again, theme of machines. Yeah. I'm getting tired talking. I'm falling apart here. This is a theme of family. So he introduces you to his family, and it turns out to be a fucking broken Yorha unit. Who's still broken because he stutters, much like me right now. But also once again, he's trying to, the Resistance member is trying to find comfort within people and within family, and that's why he does the thing he does. And then they die. Sorting troubles. There's nothing other than, jackass. Sorting troubles. Nothing. Sorting troubles. Yeah, nothing. She gives you a bomb recipe, Jackass's bomb recipe, but it's not really that important. There's not really much to it other than the fact that that you can use a dead android as part of a bomb, which is crazy. Stamp collecting. Yeah. Here's something important. The receptionist told you happiness existed only in the heart, and that the park was simply a mirror which reflected a person's true self. Take that as you will. Another thing is the Romeos and Juliets. Surprisingly, that is extremely important at play, because you can say it's a foreshadowing to ending D, where everyone dies, and uh, 9S dies by 2B, who dies by, well, technically 9S dies by 2B's sword, which has 2B in it, so technically 2B kills him, which is extremely ironic. And 9S kills A2, who kills 2B, triangular. But you can also say it's foreshadowing to N2 killing itself, because of its differences in opinions for what they should do about the androids. Its memory becomes so saturated that it falls apart and it just kills itself. So yeah, the Romeos and Juliets, extremely important thing that everyone should know. So, parade escort. So, another thing that is important is this quote. Joy, love, what's the point? Happiness wasn't going to keep me from getting killed, now was it? So that was from the different machine life form who wants out of the dangerous parade business, quote unquote. So, yeah, they want joy and life and happiness and love with everyone, but the other machines don't share the same feeling and are just want to kill them because they don't care. They don't sympathize with them at all. And apparently they go to the desert while moving to their next venue. And they're all dead. That's what this cynical machine says, is that they're all fucking dead. They're all dead in some ditch somewhere. Gathering keepsakes. This is important. This is very important. So a man at the resistance camp has lost contact with all of his comrades. So over time you find them, they're all dead, and you only find their dog tags symbolizing who they are, and, you know, some sort of memory to them. But he exclaims how he's gathering flowers to them to commemorate their sacrifice. So he's mourning is the word that he uses. And because of that, 9S erects a grave for 2B. And then with this, you know, some like basic knowledge of funeral customs, and he also mourns for her as well. And he laid her to rest among the beautiful white flowers so she would finally be at peace. So it truly does say a lot for how 9S feels about 2B from this alone, and I'm considering this as a canon main quest because of how important it means. And it's just simply how 9S really, really, really loves 2B and really cares about her, and even says sweet dreams, 2B. And how he will soon join her, which either way, in both Route C and in Route D, he meets, you know, the same fate. He basically dies in some way. So here we have the weapons dealer's request here. This one is another like existential question. He can't shake the feeling that the weapons he makes to protect his friends might actually hasten their deaths. I'm not sure if this is a certain philosophical quote similar to the ship of Theseus, I'm not too sure on it, but it is kind of like an important, very deep question that he brings himself to ask, and how 2B reacts to it with silence. 2B reacts with silence to a lot of quests. That's something important. Is that she doesn't like to talk, even though she does feel. So here we have next one, Recluse. I guess you could say this one is like a theme of communication. It's mostly from Recluse Stays Home, Permanent Recluse. So basically, he locks himself away because he's scared. He's scared of not being able to understand his mother. He's scared of not being able to oh fuck. Oh god, video ruined. He's scared of love and the feelings that he has, and again, communication between him and the person he likes. And another thing is, sealing himself within a box. The soul box. No. I'm just fucking with you. So, after that, he realizes that he's only happy when he's locked away from the outside world. Which, I can understand that. So yeah, he becomes the greatest, most reclusive recluse the world has ever known, and invents a lock so formidable that no one can bypass it. So he locks himself in his house forever and ever. Even as his village gets completely destroyed, he just locked in his house. So, I guess you could say it's similar to like Naivety. but oh boy, that's basically it. Oh wow, I did what was that, like an hour? I have like more notes for some reason. Reconnaissance squad. Oh yeah, knowing that not all your high units are dead. Yeah, no regrets, okay? We need to think about what we're going to do from this point forward. That's what 4S says to 9S. What's this? Pascal's A2 side quest. Yeah, death flag for the village, and potentially Pascal, if chosen, to die. It also shows a growth in A2's character. I forgot to mention that. It's a growth in A2, overall liking machines, and liking Pascal despite her past hatred of them. Or you could just flat out kind of go against that afterwards, because you can kill, oh my god, the robot brother. I want to say his name's Andre, but that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, killing the robot brother kind of goes against all that, the liking for the village, but it is her past, so her quotes in that fight are pretty relevant in how she can't really, even still, she can't really forgive the machines. Let's see. Oh yeah, the one side quest for Pascal is foreshadowing of machines not being able to revive if the machine core is destroyed, which is in storage element. Yes, child has fallen ill. So as long as the cores are intact, the machine survives. But it kind of goes into foreshadowing of the machines killing themselves and their cores when they learn of the true meaning of fear, or at least the philosophy of Neschek's sphere behind it, that Pascal herself teaches them. Very, very ironic. Oh yes, and Pascal is, I believe, another philosopher in existentialism. Why am I looking it up now? I'm basically done with this video. Philosophy. Oh well. Regardless, pretty much all of the side quests here have some sort of significance, or at least most of them have some sort of significance to them, in regards to the story, or the archives, or the information in some way or form. There is some sort of significance hidden within them that is very, very relevant to everything that happens. So, another thing is what eventually leads up to this, the point of this entire thing being, you know, pointless and ironic, and all the foreshadowing leads up to this, which is machines are created by aliens. They want to defeat the enemy. That's their only goal. But their evolution goes so far as to kill their creators. And they even try and beat the system that means requiring an enemy. So yeah, the contradictory conclusion intentionally cause deficiencies in their network, which is the more special machine life forms such as Pascal and whose first is the Forest King. So eventually it kind of self-repair and deficiencies and whatnot until it finds this new form, which is humans and Project Gestalt, as well as the information on the human who was the first successful example of the Gestalt process, which is the Shadow Lord, I believe. He is the original, who's Papa NieR's true human form. And because of this, they made a meta network, which brings them to machines being basically ghosts of humans. The ghost of humanity as its core. And then also leads to N2, which is, I believe, what they say themselves is the collection of human unconsciousness, or a human consciousness in creation, something like that. So this is Jackass's report. So yeah, she figures this all out because she's a fucking smart ass woman, and she sees how pointless this is. Coming for all your heads. Fuck you, jackass. Every evolutionary dead-end machine life form. Why is this highlighted? Oh, number 11. Okay. Yeah, that's just dating a psych. Alright, everything fucked up. So yeah, that's all the side quests. I hope you enjoyed it, because I'm going to be deleting the save data and probably playing it again from the start, because I love this game. Alright. Broadcast off. I need water. I need water real bad. Real bad.